Escapee recaptured by police after fleeing Sparendaam Magistrates Court. The Guyana Police Force, GPF, has successfully recaptured Kevin Mohammed, who escaped from lawful custody on Friday while at the Sparendaam Magistrates Court. Mohammed, who was scheduled to face a magistrate regarding a simple larceny charge, managed to evade police briefly before being apprehended later that same evening. Authorities have confirmed that Mohammed is now back in custody, and additional security measures are being reviewed to prevent future incidents. Investigations are ongoing to determine the circumstances surrounding his escape. The GPF commends the swift response and vigilance of its ranks, which led to the prompt recapture of the escaped individual. Third suspect in murder of GDF soldier remanded. After year-long manhunt. After evading capture for over a year, 26-year-old Gani Jamie of South Sofia, Georgetown, has been remanded to prison in connection with the 2023 murder of Lieutenant Rondell Anthony Douglas, a member of the Guyana Defense Force, GDF. Jamie, who was apprehended on October 26, 2024, in Kairuni Bakdam on the Linden-Soesdijk Highway, appeared before the Georgetown Magistrates Court on Friday to face charges of murder committed during the furtherance of a robbery. Douglas, who served part-time as a taxi driver, was fatally shot on June 7, 2023, during a carjacking orchestrated by Jamie and his co-accused, Randy Wright and Joshua Paris. The three men reportedly targeted Douglas to obtain a vehicle for an alleged plan to rob a businessman transporting $40 million in cash for equipment purchases. Wright and Paris were remanded last year, while Jamie remained at large until last month. Investigators disclosed that the suspects identified Douglas as their target after scouting several taxi services. They lured him to a secluded area in North Ruimveldt, Georgetown, where Douglas was ambushed. Despite resisting, he was fatally shot, suffering gunshot wounds to his chest and head. The suspects fled with his vehicle, which was later discovered abandoned in Campbellville, Georgetown, after failed attempts to sell it. Jamie did not enter a plea during his initial court appearance, and Acting Chief Magistrate Faith McGusty remanded him to prison. His next court date is scheduled for November 22, 2024. The Guyana Police Force, GPF, acknowledges the public support in capturing the suspect and urges anyone with further information to come forward to ensure justice for Lieutenant Douglas. One bandit dead, another injured following high-speed crash after robbery in Diamond. On Saturday night, a suspected robber died, and his accomplice sustained serious injuries following a high-speed crash with a car while attempting to flee the scene of a robbery in the Diamond Housing Scheme, East Bank Demerara, EBD. According to initial reports, the two suspects were attempting to escape on a motorbike after allegedly committing a robbery, with a local supermarket believed to have been the target. While specific details of the robbery are still emerging, eyewitness accounts indicate that the men were pursued by individuals in a car. During their escape, the suspects reportedly sped out of 21st Avenue and collided with another vehicle. One of the occupants of the car involved in the collision recounted the incident. They were coming out of 21st Avenue when they suddenly hit our vehicle. There was some kind of robbery at a supermarket, and other people were chasing them in a car when they rode right into us. The incident is currently under investigation, with law enforcement working to piece together the events leading up to the crash. Authorities are appealing to the public for any additional information that could aid in the investigation. Heavily armed gunmen kidnap and rob 9 Guyanese and Brazilian nationals at GGMC's Marudi checkpoint, victims identified. In a shocking incident on Saturday, heavily armed gunmen kidnapped 9 individuals, 4 Brazilian nationals and 5 Guyanese, during a robbery at the Guyana Geology and Mines Commission's, GGMC, Bushmouth substation in Marudi. According to the Guyana Police Force, GPF, the hostages were successfully rescued through the coordinated efforts of the joint services, who engaged in a high-speed pursuit of the assailants. The gunmen abandoned their vehicle and fled, leaving the hostages behind. The victims were identified as follows. Victor Adams, 34, Natural Resources Officer from Lot 676 Section 7 Field, B. Patterson Drive, Georgetown. Romaine Simon, 39, Natural Resource Officer from Block 1481 Zeelugt. Christopher Charles, 17, Barber from Lethem, Central Rupununi. Curtis Charles, 35, Lieutenant of the Guyana Defense Force, GDF, resident of Block X Diamond Housing Scheme. Carl Antone, 30, Community Mines Ranger from Ishelton Village, South Rupununi. Benedict John, 28, Caretaker from Caradano Village, South Rupununi. Dionii Farias de Brito, 29, General Manager from Boa Vista, Brazil. Eduardo Moreira Freitas, 22, operator from Boa Vista, Brazil. Witnesses reported an exchange of gunfire during the incident, with videos and photos circulating on social media. Spent shells were discovered at the scene. The assailants made off with a significant quantity of raw gold, 2 Glock pistols, and a Movado watch valued at $140,000. The attack occurred around 10:15 a.m. while the victims were en route to Marudi Backdam, having stopped to check in at the GGMC gate. Preliminary investigations suggest that the 6 masked gunmen may be Brazilian nationals, as they were heard speaking Portuguese. The GPF is continuing its investigation into this brazen act of violence, and authorities are urging anyone with information to come forward. Speeding car collides with utility pole on Garnett Street. On Saturday, a car crashed into a utility pole near Nicky's Fish Shop on Garnett Street, causing significant disruption in the area. The vehicle, registered as PWW 9403, was driven by Dillian de Abreu, a sergeant in the Guyana Defense Force, GDF. According to reports, de Abreu was traveling west along Garnett Street at high speed when he allegedly lost control of the car, resulting in a collision with a Guyana Power and Light Incorporated, GPL pole. Following the incident, de Abreu underwent a breathalyzer test, which confirmed that there was no presence of alcohol in his system. Investigations into the crash are ongoing as authorities review CCTV footage from the area to gain further insights into the events leading up to the accident. Brackish water shrimp production in Guyana sees significant growth, benefiting local economies. The Brackish water shrimp project along Guyana's Corentyne coast has achieved substantial growth, producing a total of 98,159 kilograms of shrimp between January and September 2024. Minister of Agriculture, Zulfikar Mustafa, highlighted the project's progress and economic impact during a meeting with shrimp farmers at the Albion Sports Complex on Saturday. Initially launched as a pilot in July 2021, the project began with 80 registered participants producing an average of 9,833 kilograms of shrimp monthly. With government support and strategic planning, monthly production increased dramatically from 9,000 kilograms in 2021 to over 51,719 kilograms, and further surged to 79,828 kilograms in 2023. In 2023 alone, shrimp farmers in Region 6 collectively earned $1.8 billion, boosting economic activity and supporting village economies across the region. Minister Mustafa announced that 125 individuals are now engaged in the project, with each receiving assistance to optimize their pond infrastructure for increased output. The government has invested between $800 to $900 million in the project to date, including the purchase of 2 excavators to support pond development. Plans are underway to acquire 2 additional excavators in 2025 to accommodate expanding demand. The success of the Brackish water shrimp project has drawn interest from farmers across other regions, prompting the government to explore opportunities for further expansion. Additionally, a prawn production initiative at Onverwacht in Region 5 is progressing, and a hatchery is under construction at Mon Repos to produce shrimp larvae domestically, reducing reliance on imports from the United States. Regional Vice Chairman Zamal Hussein, along with representatives from the Ministry of Agriculture and local government, attended the meeting, underscoring the collective commitment to advancing Guyana's aquaculture sector. Caribbean Airlines launches new direct flight between Ogle, Guyana and Paramaribo, Suriname. Caribbean Airlines Limited, CAL, officially launched its new direct flight service between Ogle Airport, Guyana, and Paramaribo, Suriname, with a ribbon-cutting ceremony on Sunday. This new route will offer passengers a convenient, twice-weekly connection on Fridays and Sundays, aiming to bolster travel and business ties between the neighboring South American countries. CAL's country manager for Guyana and Suriname, Rena the Marshal, emphasized the airline's commitment to Guyana as a key market, saying, "Caribbean Airlines has deep roots in Guyana. Guyana is one of our most important markets." She further noted that this new service reflects CAL's focus on expanding and adapting to meet customer needs. The new route will be served by CAL's ATR 72-600 aircraft, providing an efficient travel option for both business and leisure travelers. Flight BW 383 departs Ogle, Guyana at 9:55 HRS on Sundays, arriving in Suriname at 12:05 HRS, with a return flight BW 384 departing Suriname at 12:50 HRS, Suriname time, and arriving in Ogle at 1300 hours. On Fridays, BW 383 departs Ogle at 10:45 HRS and arrives in Suriname at 12:55 HRS, with BW 384 departing Suriname at 1350 HRS and landing in Ogle at 1400 hours HRS. Public Works Minister Juan Edgehill, present at the ceremony, highlighted the added value CAL's larger aircraft offers, compared to the existing direct route provided by Trans-Guyana. Minister Edgehill noted that the new service would further enhance connectivity, supporting the collaborative projects and economic growth shared between Guyana and Suriname. Minister of Tourism Industry and Commerce, Wanij Walrond, commended the addition as a positive reflection of Guyana's growing tourism sector, which continues to attract private investment. Caribbean Airlines remains dedicated to providing quality service to the region, with a new direct route expected to promote seamless travel, boost economic activity, and strengthen cultural ties between Guyana and Suriname.